What's up guys? The world's fastest phone is back with some brand new upgrades. So this is the RedMagic 7 Pro. And today I bring you a head-to-head comparison versus the RedMagic 6S Pro. Now first of all, let's start off with the design and feel. Now both phones look and feel premium with a unique transparent design where you can see a turbofan spinning with LED lights. So ultra cool design on both. They both have a glass back with metal frames going all the way around. Both are 9.8mm in thickness and they both weigh around the same, with the 6S Pro only 15 grams lighter. The 6S Pro is also slightly taller in size, with the width of both phones around the same. So looking at the bottom of the phones, similar layout. So we've got speakers, Type-C charging, a microphone and a SIM tray. And both phones take dual 5G nano SIMs, but neither of them have an SD card slot. Now if we just swivel the phone to the right, so you can see the 7 Pro has touch triggers left and right, some ventilation, we've got volume rocker, power button and another microphone. And if we have a look at the 6S Pro, you can see touch triggers, ventilation, power button and another microphone. Now if we look at the top of the phones, you can see both have headphone jacks and another microphone each, but the 7S Pro has a loudspeaker top firing and the 6S Pro actually has its loudspeaker on the earpiece. So that's the difference there. Let's swivel it round one more time. And on this side you're going to see red gaming switches on both phones. The switch is made from metal and it's got a textured feel to it, but you can see that the 7 Pro switch is slightly bigger in size compared to the 6S Pro. The 6S Pro has its volume rocker on this side and another vent. Now on the back you can see a different camera bump design on the 7S Pro. You have this real nice metal plate finish going all the way down. Both phones have triple cameras, which we're coming to a little bit later in the video, but there is an extra vent on the back of the 7 Pro and you don't get that vent in the 6S Pro. So that was the physical differences. Now let's check out the displays. Both smartphones have the same size 6.8 inch Full HD Plus AMOLED displays. However, the 7 Pro supports 120Hz and the 6S Pro supports 165Hz, and you can select the specific refresh rate that you want to roll with, but neither phone supports adaptive refresh. Now both phones will give you Gorilla Glass protection, no idea which version, but you do get 700 nits of peak brightness in both. But the 6S Pro does look a little bit taller, and that is due to the bezel on the top. You can see the 6S Pro has a bezel which houses the camera and the loudspeaker. The 7 Pro has that bezel removed and the front camera is now under display and the speaker is top firing. So it just makes that 7 Pro slightly more compact in size, giving you a full screen display. Now some of the other differences. The 7 Pro is running Android 12 with RedMagic OS version 5.0 and the 6S Pro has Android 11 with RedMagic OS 4.5. Both phones support 500Hz touch triggers which can be customized in-game using RedMagic software, and it lets you aim and shoot using the trigger buttons, which just makes so much sense considering these are gaming phones, and it bumps up that console-like gaming experience. Touch sampling has also been upgraded in the 7 Pro, so we have 960Hz touch sampling versus 720Hz in the 6S Pro. We've got a 5000 mAh battery with 65 watt fast charging versus 5050 mAh with 66 watt of fast charging. Both have audio jacks and dual speakers featuring DTS sound. Both have multi-layer dedicated cooling system. We're talking about ICE 9.0 versus ICE 7.0. And both have a 20,000 RPM turbo cooling fan with these really nice looking LEDs. Now let's talk about the chipsets. 7 Pro is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which is a 4nm octa-core chip clocked at 3 GHz. And the 6S Pro is powered by the Snapdragon 888 Plus, which is a 5nm octa-core clocked at 3 GHz. The RedMagic 7 Pro also has a brand new secondary chip called the RedMagic Core 1, which is a dedicated gaming chip responsible to manage the processing of audio, RGB lights and the haptic feedback. So it releases a bit of workload from the Snapdragon, allowing the Snapdragon chip to focus its resources more on the gaming and application side, making the performance even more efficient. Now the 7 Pro global version will come with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage versus 12 gigs of RAM and 256 UFS 3.1 storage. Now onto the cameras. So front cameras, we have a 16 megapixel under display camera in the 7 Pro versus 8 megapixel front camera in the 6S Pro. Also, rear cameras, both phones have exactly the same 64 megapixel primary, 8 megapixel ultra wide and 2 megapixel macro lens. The 7 Pro does come with a brand new camera design and layout, which I think looks a lot better than what we're used to seeing on the RedMagic phones. And here are a few camera samples for you guys to check out. So quick look at DRM info. Both phones do have Google Wi-Fi Level 1 certification, and that means Netflix HD is available on both. And here is CPU-Z, where you can check out the clock speeds, and you can see both offering a maximum of 3 GHz and also Adreno 730 versus Adreno 660. So that brings us to our benchmarks, beginning with Geekbench. So 1254 versus 1156 single core and 3627 versus 3410 multi-core. And in the Antutu benchmark test, the 7 Pro achieved 1,039,721 and the 6S Pro achieved just over 86K. Alright, now we're going to check out the COD mobile graphics settings on the 7 Pro first of all. If we go to audio and graphics, you can see we have the option for very high and max. Now checking out the graphic settings of the RedMagic 6S Pro COD mobile, you can see for graphics we have very high, and for frame rate we have the option for ultra, but if you select ultra it will drop the graphics quality down to medium. If you try and increase it, you will not be able to play ultra frame rate, so you'll go to max. If we were to compare apples to apples, very high and max is available on the 6S Pro as well, but you have the additional ultra option, which is what we're going to play on right now. So let's see what that looks like. Now both smartphones also have this red gaming switch. So this is RedMagic's special gaming space where you can load up your games from, but also customize things. So you can see Call of Duty here. If I tap on settings, so you can set game specific settings. So you can see Call of Duty panel. So you can see I've set the touch sampling to 960 Hertz. You can drop it down or turn it up. Sensitivity high, smoothness, you can see I've got it high. I've got accidental touch protection on. You can select the touch range from small, medium and broad, and I'll leave it on medium. Performance can be individually adjusted for each game. You also have some presets under show, so default, car, shooting, MOBA and auto. So for COD, I've naturally left it on shoot. You've got function allocation, so video recording, HD and manual record 60 seconds. You've got resource settings, so these are shoulder triggers and you can have different scenarios for the shoulder triggers as well, so you can add different cases. You've got plugin settings as well, so fast stopwatch, sound equalizer, key position assistant. You can customize macros and you've got an aiming assistant. So all of these options individually for each game. There is also a plugin library, so to get to it you tap on superpower, tap on plugin library, and you'll see some of those same plugins that I showed you, but there's more. So investigate, 4D vibration, hunt mode and so on and so forth. Now if you tap on the user icon at the top, it will give you information on what you've been playing, how long you've been playing for. You can customize network settings, you've got anti-disturbance settings, system anti-mistouch. You can customize the state after competitive key is turned off. The game space wallpaper can be changed, so this is what we have. I'm going to switch it to that one. You've got RedMagic watermark can be switched on and off when you record your screen captures. You've got some other options here which I'll let you read very quickly, and then you've got about. So a very useful and interesting game space. And when you actually have a game running, you can swipe in from the left or the right and it will give you an overlay, and you can quickly change some options. So now I've got it on the highest performance setting there, it's on rise, but you can quickly jump down to eco if you want. You can turn the brightness up and down. You can turn on and off the performance status in the middle. You've got the fan, you can switch the fan off if it's too noisy and you're playing at night, or you can switch it back on. You can start recording video straight away, and there are a whole bunch of options there that you can play around with. But I really do like RedMagic's gaming space, and you can see the wallpapers changed in the background as well. It makes gaming a lot more interesting and fun, as you can customize things to suit your own personal preferences. Love what they've done here. So there you have it guys, my comparison of the new RedMagic 7 Pro versus the RedMagic 6S Pro. Now some of you might be thinking, I can already play games on my phone, why do I need a gaming phone? Well, these two gaming phones have one of the best cooling systems I've ever experienced in a smartphone, and the 7 Pro takes it to another level with 9 layers of cooling, turbofan, powerful specifications with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and you get that new dedicated Red Core 1 chip for the better overall experience. And you're now getting an upgraded under-display camera and an incredible set of RedMagic software, and the sheer customization options you get are quite remarkable. And the super fast touch triggers and touch sampling means every time you press that trigger, it's most likely going to be faster than anyone else. Battery life on both phones are very good. I can use the phone normally throughout the day, including around 4 hours of gaming, and at the end of the day I would have still achieved just over 12 hours of screen on time. Both phones also support fast charging and take around 1 hour 10 minutes to fully charge, and the fast chargers are included in the box, which is another bonus. Now if you have a passion for games, especially shoot 'em ups like COD Mobile and PUBG, then you do need to get one of these phones. Once you play a game on either of these RedMagic phones, there is no going back. Playing on a regular phone is just not the same. And if I had to choose one, the obvious choice has to be the RedMagic 7 Pro. The extra features, specs, better cooling with 33% increased air volume, the newly designed, slightly more compact frame and camera bump all make it a worthy upgrade. I hope you found this one useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.